Howdy folks, Eric here, back with another standard brew. Once again, Faded Firepower. Triple red, X, enchantment, flash. This enchantment enters with X fire counters on it. If a source you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals that much damage plus an amount of damage equal to the number of fire counters on this enchantment instead. Basically, buffing all of our damage sources, creatures, non-creatures, by however much mana we invest into this at instant speed. Pretty effective for closing out the game if you've established yourself on the board. Shout out real quick to one of my YouTube commenters, Stebo Bebo. They mentioned that they would be excited to see more Faded Firepower. This one's for you. It's not big red necessarily. This is more of an aggro slant. I'm calling this Menace red. We have this Menace tribal sort of sub-theme. Built around another card from a recent set, Lazlo, Enthusiastic Accuser, aka J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man. When it enters, suspect up to one target creature, and whenever a creature you control with Menace attacks, create a treasure token. So if you have one or two Menace creatures on the field, you play this, you start generating enough treasures to cast a pretty big Faded Firepower, and basically just close out the game that way. Faded Firepower, I think the closest comparison is like Ojar Oxenil from Lost Caverns of Ixalan, the 4-mana red Mythic that's seeing play in like the mono red decks. That card is pretty good, but it's a different style of deck because that card specifically buffs non-creature damage. So the idea here is actually we kind of flood the board with really difficult to block creatures. They've all got Menace for the most part. And get through that way, just with combat damage for the most part. And of course, we're playing some burn. We're on 4 Burst Lightning, 4 Lightning Strike. But as for the creatures, 4 Burnout Bastronaut, 4 Hired Claw, 1 Rotisserie Elemental, another sort of Menace piece. I might play 2 if I had them. I've still never used the effect on this card, so I'm not really sure on that. It's a bit of a speculative choice. A couple Charming Scoundrel. There are some other Menace 2-drops outside of Generous Plunderer and Zhao the Moonslayer, but they're not very high card quality. I think I like Charming Scoundrel's ability to either create a treasure token or just swing in as a 2-mana 2/2 haste. Pretty flexible option here, and it's really just about getting relevant creatures on the board. Yes, we are on Generous Plunderer today, and it's actually really sick in this deck. Once again, being able to generate extra mana to invest into our big Faded Firepowers, and also it just has Menace, and it's 2 sources of damage when it attacks, so it doubles the efficacy of your Faded Firepower. All around, pretty high synergy card with Faded Firepower with J. Jonah Jameson here. Zhao plays pretty nicely in this deck. Mostly it's a 2/2 Menace. Sometimes the non-basic lands enter tapped for our opponents if they're on 2 or 3 color decks, which often they are. And we actually generate enough mana often with the treasures that we're producing to be able to activate the Blood Moon ability if we want to. 3 Byway Barterers. This is a 3-mana 3/3 Menace, and it has a card draw effect if you expend 4, aka spend 4 mana on a spell during your turn, or spells during your turn. Not too difficult to trigger. If you have just like a Burst Lightning, you can cast a Burst Lightning and then draw 2 if you're Hellbent, right? Pretty easy to trigger this thing. Not irrelevant effect, has Menace. It all seems pretty good so far, I think. One card I don't think I've ever seen anyone else play, Great Train Heist from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. This is a spree card. Essentially, for 2 mana, you can make treasures when you deal combat damage to your opponent. For 3 mana, you can give your team 1/0 and First Strike. For 4 mana, you can get another combat phase, which is really good with our Menace creatures because they're probably not blocked on the first go. And for a total whopping of 6 mana, you can get another combat phase and give your team 1/0 and First Strike, which typically, if you have just like 3 creatures, is enough to close out the game. Let's talk about the mana base real quick. We are on 23 lands, 2 Fire Nation Palace. This plays really, really nicely with the Faded Firepower. Just 1 extra mana during combat to flash this in. A couple Soulstone Sanctuary and 1 Amonkhet Raceway. I'd probably play 3 Soulstone Sanctuaries if I had them. I don't, unfortunately, on Arena. So we're on the 1 Amonkhet Raceway today. See how that goes. We're playing a lot of creatures. We're playing some other speed stuff, in Burnout Astronaut. So getting up to 4 speed shouldn't be too difficult, and having a way to haste in our otherwise not particularly hasty creatures could be pretty good. Sideboard. 4 Magebane Lizard. I think this is a pretty good card in the meta, and it works especially nicely with Faded Firepower on paper. 3 Soul Guide Lantern, 2 Case of the Crimson Pulse for grindy matchups, a couple Fire Magic for go-wide matchups, and just 4 Abrades when we need instant speed removal, or if we need to be able to interact with artifacts. That comes in handy there too. I think Abrade is just kind of solid right now. Kills Ouroboros, kills Monument to Endurance. Pretty solid card if you want that kind of effect. And that's the deck. It's been playing pretty well, actually. I'm excited to jump into these matches, and hopefully we get some good games here. Show off the explosiveness. It goldfishes really nicely. Say you have like turn 1 Menace creature, turn 2 Menace creature, turn 3 Lazlo, and then that alone is like, it's somewhere in the ballpark of like 7 to 8 mana, depending on which creatures you have lined up, and that is just enough to kill with a Faded Firepower on turn 4. So it goldfishes pretty nicely. It's not like, it's not like a turn 3 kill like the Leyline decks can produce, but at the end of the day, we're just playing creatures. We don't have a lot of like high synergies that we need to pay off, so we're a little more consistent, I think. I'll just go ahead and lead on the Hired Claw here. More likely to be able to swing in profitably. Oh, just kidding. Let's just go ahead and get this off the field. I guess in retrospect, I should have gone with the Burnout Astronaut. Happy to clear that guy away, though. Probably an Ouroboros deck that we're looking at here. Maybe just some kind of mono-green aggro variant. Could be a bit of a problem. Let's just go with our Byway Barterer, I think. I like that it's a big body. Makes full use of our mana here. If they have the Ouroboros right now, that's kind of a big problem for us. But if they don't, maybe we can trigger the Barterer, get through our hand pretty quickly. Say if we draw another like 2-drop. Swinging in. No blocks here. Okay. There's a Burst Lightning. That's pretty good. So we can like double Burst Lightning the Scrap Shooter. It's probably just best to Burst Lightning the Llanowar Elves. Swing in with the Barterer, play the Bastronaut. And then next turn have Burst Lightning for 4, trigger the Barterer. Yeah, I'm not super positive on this one. I'm gonna go for this. And then we can put a counter on the Hired Claw as well here. They're cracking back for quite a bit, but we can deal with the Scrap Shooter next turn, and then I think we're starting to win the race after that. I've been having a hell of a time recording this video, by the way. This is like my 5th attempt. Not because I've been winning and losing, but because and not because I've been losing, but because my computer is dying, and it's kind of sad. My computer is dying. It's been having blue screens of death, and I cleaned it out. It was pretty dusty, and it seems to have stabilized a little bit, but I still hear it revving every now and then, and I'm just like, eh. I think it's not long for this world. I think I'm just gonna burst lightning the scrap shooter right now just to see if they have anything here. Kind of surprised they didn't activate bossing say. They might have like an overprotect. We'll go ahead and discard away this charming scoundrel for some new cards here. Oh, there's a great train heist actually. That looks really good right now. Great train heist. Getting that additional combat phase also. Oh, wow, what a response. Means that we also get to like trigger our attack triggers like the hired claw effect. And the generous plunderers and Lazlo. Being able to like, you often just get a bunch of extra mana. Okay, we're dead. Their creatures are just so much bigger than ours. Not a great running. They had the Archdruid's Charm to absolutely ranch me in that moment. I don't have a whole lot of sideboard cards for this matchup if they're playing like 4 toughness tribal. I think we just run it back and hope that we're just faster than them. Basically. Maybe now that we know they're on Archdruid's Charm, we'll be able to play around it and just like go face, basically. Just go face. Alright, on the play. 1 lander. I can't keep this. I can keep this. I think we get rid of the Faded Firepower. Although it's actually not that bad if I get it on 1 with this hand. Great Train Heist is a little expensive for what we're trying to do here. I think we'll go get rid of that. We'll learn from our mistakes. We'll lead on the Bastronaut here. Swing in for 1. Play our Claw. There's the Curator. There's another Mountain. Swing with the Bastronaut here. Pump our Claw. We might consider Faded Firepower for 1 next turn, although not a huge rush to do it necessarily. There's a Burst Lightning. Play a Mountain. So if we Faded Firepower for 1, we'll have a double striking Burnout Bastronaut that's dealing 2 on every hit. I actually think I just like Burst Lightning them, get our speed all the way up, level up the Hired Claw, maybe swing in, and then we're set up really nicely for... I guess we could just swing in with the Hired Claw, and then we're set up nicely for a Faded Firepower next turn. We don't even have to Burst Lightning here. Okay, that feels pretty good. Faded Firepower on 2 means Burnout Bastronaut deals 6 damage, Hired Claw will deal 3 and then 5 damage. There's an Ouroboros, that's a bit of a problem. Does not. Okay, so we can go Faded Firepower during combat and totally kind of get them, I think. I guess we don't get them. This is kind of tough. If we do it right now, I think I like doing it right now. And then swing with the Hired Claw. And then leave back the Burnout Bastronaut. Okay, so if I do it like this, do they have to block? That's the question, I suppose. They'll take 3 plus 5 is 8. Putting them to 6. So they will have to block the Burnout Astronaut. I think I like that. We'll kill off the Surak. And then we're set up to kill them with Burst Lightning next turn. Yeah, unless they have something absolutely crazy like the Ferox, Axebane Ferox into Pump Ouroboros, or they'd have to pump the Ouroboros quite a lot. Archdruid's Charm. Yeah, won't quite do it. Just Burst Lightning your face. All right. Good game. This seems like a tough matchup. I think they're gonna have some advantages on the play here. I'm gonna bring in the Abrades. I'm gonna cut the Zhaos and maybe cut a couple Hired Claws. They're pretty small compared to everything else that our opponent's doing. I think we need, now that we know they're on Ouroboros, need to have an answer to it at instant speed. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. It's not bad. One thing to keep in mind, we're on mostly basics, but Zhao is symmetrical, so it's important to like try to think about getting your non-basics out of your hand before you play him, or at least play around that, you know, be prepared for your non-basics to come in tapped. It helps that they're on a mold of 5. It helps us a lot. We'll see if it's enough. Our hand's pretty decent. Lead on this Hired Claw here. With just this hand even, actually, we can play if we want to. So we go Fire Nation Palace. We go Charming Scoundrel and make a treasure. And then we can play Faded Firepower for X equals 2 next turn, which is like a really crazy number to have out this early. It means they won't be able to block with stuff like this anymore. Okay, well now they will. Here's an Abrade. I kind of still think it's worth it. Maybe we postpone one more turn. Play a Barterer. And then we get to do X equals 3. I can't kill the Web Strike Elite. I think it's... this is a tricky spot. Because if, say they do have like Ouroboros now, and I'm not playing around it at all, I don't really have a good way to play around it other than just holding up interaction here. But if they have like just other 4 toughness creatures, it looks really poor. But if I get the Faded Firepower down now, then my Abrade looks a little better. Okay, I guess I'm not going to go for it because I'm timing out. Let's just go ahead and play the Barterer. Delay one more turn, set up for a much bigger Faded Firepower. Much more impactful, rather. Just the fact that this has 4 toughness now means that, like, the extra 2 damage won't be sufficient in killing the Elite, so it feels a little worse to swing in. There's a Scrap Shooter. I think it's for the best that we played this out the way we did. Because now we can X equals 3. Swinging in, no blocks here. Creatures are... oh, Lazlo. Lazlo is kind of crazy. Lazlo is kind of crazy, so we get to kind of have it all here. Let's go ahead and give Menace to our Hired Claw. Swing in with the gang. Make a bunch of treasures here. Just gonna hold off on hold up my interaction, and then next turn they're like super dead. Just that one like extra turn of 2 extra treasures. Just like getting 2 extra treasures opens up all of our mana here. Even if they kill it, it doesn't really matter anymore. I can't kill this back. This just happens. I guess they're gonna fight. Yeah, I guess they're just gonna fight, so I could kill the crapshooter here. Kind of want to maybe hold up my treasures though. Maximize this faded firepower. Swings for 4, we'll take it. Go to my turn. They have 1 mana open. So we Fire Nation Palace. We give Firebending to the Hired Claw. It doesn't really matter who we choose here. We go in. Make sure we set a full control here. Swing in. Make sure we sequence this properly. We want the Hired Claw damage to trigger last. Target the opponent. Sorry, we want it to resolve last. Make a treasure. So now we get to Faded Firepower for 2 plus 4 is 6. And that's just going to be lethal. So they'll take 7 from this Hired Claw ping. Kinda nuts, actually. Just the synergy between like the way the damage scales when you have those extra treasures, it gets out of hand so quickly. It requires you to be on the board, so we're a little more we're a lot more fragile compared to like traditional mono red to control board wipes, so on and so forth. Because we don't have a whole lot of haste. We kind of need our creatures to stick around for everything to play out that way. But our creatures are pretty good. Go ahead and keep this. 2 lands. I like that we have the Lazlo. I think we probably just put Zhao back. I think Zhao is probably has the chance of having the lowest ceiling, depending on what our opponent's up to. I think they're also on aggro. Let's go Generous Plunderer here. See if we can't get up to 3 mana. Our opponent currently has an artifact, so this will be swinging in for 4 next turn if it lives. To kill it off. Alright, let's go for our... I think we just want like Charming Scoundrel, Make a Treasure plus Burnout Astronaut. That sets us up best for Lazlo next turn, I think. Oh, I should have swung for 1. I forgot it can't block. Oops. Probably won't be a difference maker, but actually having like 1 more turn of speed. Bit of a goof there. I've been finding in my reviews, reviewing my like tape, basically, like watching myself back, I am doing a lot of talking and not enough walking, and just like making these flubs because I'm not actually thinking about what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going through the motions while I'm talking about what I'm doing. So I think I need to tighten up a little bit. Give Menace to the Scoundrel here. Pretty straightforward. Lazlo can also be used to remove blockers if that ever becomes relevant. Like I had a match against Dimir the other day where you suspect Cecil, and it's like, okay, well, you're either going to keep hitting me because you can't block with it, which is great for me. You're going to lose damage, and then even if you do manage to flip it, it won't be able to block. So it all works out pretty nicely. Go for another Lazlo here. Kind of getting ranched. Let's go ahead. I think our only out really now is like we draw into a big faded firepower. And I'm not even sure that that'll be enough. Like if they get Delirium on here pretty soon, which it looks like they will be able to, Lazlo can't block. Yeah, they just kind of got out of the gates a little faster than we did. No worries. On the play for game 2. Bring in the Soul Guide Lanterns. Bring in the Abrades, pretty good against them. Let's go down the Zhao. Don't think it'll be super important in this matchup. They have a decent amount of non-basics, but let's go down one Lazlo, a little fragile maybe. Down the Rotisseries, down a couple Hired Claws, down one Great Train Heist perhaps. Right, like this. Just got to be able to interact with them a little bit. This is fine. It's not great. Fine. Hitting our land drops is good. There's a Burnout Bastronaut. Let's go with the... Yeah, let's just go with Charming Scoundrel here. And maybe... I think I like a Treasure better, so we can just deploy the Burnout Bastronaut as well. Get our speed going. Breakout. FOMO. We have a Lightning Strike for the FOMO. Would not mind drawing another 2 mana effect, so we can play the Barterer here and then play a Sanctuary. Swing in. Yeah, I'm just going to play the Barterer. I guess they could have some kind of crazy all-in right now, but we just got to do our own proactive thing. So that's not quite Delirium. There's an Abrade. That is Delirium. So we'll have to Lightning Strike this on our turn, I think, but... Fire Nation Palace doesn't do a whole lot for us here. Not a bad draw, though. We'll have 4 mana during combat. Yeah, that doesn't really change how these things play out, really, so let's not show it off quite yet. Just gotta kill the FOMO. Swing in. Get in for 1 extra damage with the Bastronaut here. We're officially online. Fire Nation Palace means we can pump this 3 times next turn. Hold off on playing our Barterer, if this lives, I guess. Looks like it's dying. Wouldn't mind a Searing Spear, or a Lightning Strike, rather. Okay. Plunder's not a bad draw. Lets us trigger our Barterer. Draw 2 cards. Pretty good. Not swinging. Pass it to you. They'll be able to turn this on if they want. I think if they do, they probably can't do it without turning off their own Delirium. I guess they could, like, give it double strike. Do they have the mana to give it double strike and then... I think they do. Give it double strike and then eat their graveyard? Holy smokes. Yeah? I guess I have to block with this? I'm gonna play around the double strike eat their graveyard plan. Sucks a little bit, but I think they would have gone for it still if they had it there. Oh, Faded Firepower. Oh. Are they dead? So we can play a second Fire Nation Palace. We can fire them both up. That's a total of 8 mana. I think they're dead to this. Holy shit. Give Firebending 8 to our Plunderer. Swing. Put the triggers on the stack like this. Full control. Oh. I hit full control. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We just play this for 5. And burst lightning their Wicker Folk. Or burst lightning their face. It doesn't super matter here. We've done it. But yeah, I guess if you have the triggers on the stack like that and you hit full control, it doesn't care. So you got to be kind of mindful because you need to be able to flash in that flash in the Faded Firepower right after the Firebending triggers. Otherwise, you could mess yourself up. But great top deck. Killed them out of nowhere. I think that's a pretty good sign. This is a good hand. Gives us a chance to interact with their creatures quite a lot. I like the early Bastronaut into Lightning Strike all their creatures to death plan. There's a Faded Firepower. A little sloppy last game, letting that slip through, but worked out okay. Abrade. Gonna go ahead and abrade the Curator. Play around them having some sort of pump. Hit them for 1. Speed's going up. Wouldn't mind drawing some lands here. Eventually build up to the Faded Firepower. We can strike the Tursa. No Delirium yet. There's a second Faded Firepower. Speed at 3. No Delirium still. Breakout. That'll do Delirium. Wicker Folk. FOMO. Ew. Yeah, really need a land. Okay. Let's play a Scoundrel, make a treasure. Kill the FOMO? How does this play out? We have to kill the FOMO. I think making the treasure here makes sense. We can chump the beastie if we need to. Gotta swing in. Wouldn't mind like a Firebending Palace. Fire Nation Palace. I don't... Oh, God. It's just too much. I think if we draw like exactly Soul Guide Lantern right now, we could maybe... the Restless Prairie probably puts it away. Yeah, they had the play here. We won on the play, they won on the play. Just how it goes sometimes. Not a whole lot to be done about that. 1-1. Decent start. I'm feeling pretty good about this deck still. With all the playing on the stack stuff and like having to play in between your triggers and all that. Not a whole lot of room for sloppy play, so just got to tighten up a little bit. Okay, match 3 on the play. Got a mulligan in this hand, 1 land. This is not great, but I will keep it. Has the mana to support a pretty big Faded Firepower eventually. Just gonna kill this. Make sure you play your non-basics before playing Zhao. See if this does anything to them. Tapped Verge, Stadium Headliner, some kind of It's an interesting question. I guess we just play another Sanctuary here. Some kind of mobilize war leaders call deck, probably. I guess it could just be goblins. It could just be goblins. Goblins could be tough. Another Zhao is not really what we want. Goblins could be pretty tough. Just the fact that they're going to be able to block our Menace creatures. Fire up this Soulstone Sanctuary here. We'll block a Goblin. They could just have like +X, where X is the number of creatures you control to kill this. Yeah, I think I'm pretty okay with trading this off like that. Not a problem for me. I might be able to take them off of white mana completely if I get to 7 mana for this next Zhao. Kind of interesting. Just gonna swing in with the Sanctuary. I think I'm gonna pop this for 2. No, it's probably better to fire up a second Sanctuary. Pretty nice, them having the Sanctuaries having Vigilance with the Faded Firepower, being able to swing in and then pump their damage at instant speed. I guess I'll block. They might have another one. This is totally fine, and I'm not really sure why they're playing it like this. I think I'd be dead a million times over if they just decided to direct these frontline rushes at my face, rather than preserving, like, this stadium headliner. It seems a little suspect to me. There's a Lazlo. So we can go... We can go Lazlo. Give this Menace. Swing in. They could block and kill it if they wanted to, I suppose. It would involve giving up a Seer Slicer Goblin. And then second main, we will tap the Soulstone Sanctuary if it lives. Play Zhao here. It can't block anyway, now that it has been suspected. Play Zhao. Technically, assuming nothing else, we are alive for another turn. A lot of gobos. The fire magics in our sideboard are looking pretty good. Swing it in. Well, we'll try to kill off some guys. They decide not to swing with the Seer Slicer Goblin. Goblins. What's our best draw right now? Yeah, I'm not actually sure that I have anything in the main deck that gets us out of this. You don't run across this strategy too often. You could probably justify a couple main deck Iros demonstrations, but doesn't go face. I think in this strategy we just mostly need stuff that goes face. Bring in our removal. Take out... probably take out some... I don't know. Let's get the Rotisserie Elemental. Take out some Bastronauts, maybe. The Menace is not it, perhaps, and I think the extra toughness on Hired Claw makes a little more sense to play around. Plus, we're bringing in Fire Magic, which is a bit of a non-bow with the Bastronauts. Take out a Scoundrel. Try it like that. Zhao could be decent. Who knows? On the play, at least it could have some points. Pretty good hand. Pretty good hand. Turn 1 Hired Claw, kind of important for us. You could argue there's some tension between Zhao and Generous Plunderer. Like, we're taxing our opponent a little bit, but then we're also giving them treasures back. You know? But I think this is a deck actually where Generous Plunderer shines quite nicely. Team Rip. It's all about the extra damage trigger. You know, it has Menace, it generates mana. It's kind of like a must-have for this specifically. I think I just play a Hired Claw and abrade the something. I guess I don't have to abrade quite yet. Although abrading now plays around Frontline Rush. Although they don't have the creatures to Frontline Rush. I guess we can hold the abrade. They can only Frontline Rush for X equals 2 right now. I think I'm happy to abrade this. This could be more of a problem in the future. Let them see if they want to swing. They decide to swing with both of these. Let's go ahead and abrade the Sharpshooter. I'm not sure why they chose to swing with the Headliner. Seems like a really poor decision, actually. We just get to block it for free. And now we get to double level up our Hired Claws here. Hold on to the Barterer until we draw a second card to trigger it. Yeah, I don't know why they swung with the Headliner there. Looked pretty good. Move it along into game 3. Not a whole lot we can do here. Just hope they don't have a crazy opener. Maybe we see some Fire Magics. Got a mulligan. I don't think we can keep a hand that's like just creatures. Let's say that much. Gotta have some kind of, burst lightning effect or something like that. I think this is okay. Animal to 6. Stadium Headliner. Barterer, not bad. Let's lead on the Hired Claw here. Voice of Victory. Okay. Could be a little tough. If we play a Claw, swing in, and they block with the Voice of Victory, say they double block, we can just trade Voice for a Hired Claw plus a Burst Lightning. I guess that's a 2-for-1. If they double block, I just level up the Hired Claw, right? And then I get a free kill on the Stadium Headliner. No blocks. Okay, I think I'm okay with that. I'm just going to play the second Hired Claw and then Burst Lightning the Headliner here. Take them off of a big, like, an even bigger War Leader's Call swing. There's Anim Pakal, 1000th Moon. Let's block the Gnome. The Gnome will stick around if we don't. Hope we draw like a Lightning Strike here. Lazlo. Interesting. Well, we don't have a way to deal with Anim Pakal right now. It'll go up to 4 toughness next turn, so we could play Lazlo here. Swing with a Menace Hired Claw. Make a treasure. Get in for 3. And then next turn we can Burst Lightning this Anim Pakal if we want to. A little tough here. Be pretty tough if they had War Leader's Call. Swinging in with the Voice of Victory. Kind of surprised they're not swinging in with Pakal here. There they go. Nope. Changed their mind. They want to be able to block, I suppose. Kill the gnomes. We're getting out of this pretty unscathed, I would say. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to swing with the Hired Claw here. The one with Menace. Make my treasure. I'm going to assume they're going to block with Onimpakal and a Goblin. And then I get to Burst Lightning, Onimpakal. And my Hired Claw lives. Whereas if I had Burst Lightning first, then they could block with the Seer Slicer Goblin, which I suppose is not incredibly likely, but certainly a possibility. Chunking in for 3 every turn feels pretty good with the Hired Claw here. Would not mind a draw that triggers our Byway Barterer. Okay, we get to double block the Voice of Victory. I guess they could have like a Burst Lightning in hand, but it kind of seems like they're all in on the creatures. There's a Lightning Strike. That's pretty good. So let's go ahead and just strike the Sharpshooter down. I kind of feel like that's like leaving this alive gives them an avenue to sort of killing us out of nowhere. Drawing 2 cards, kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. Swing in with the Hired Claw. I guess we'll just swing in with 2 Hired Claws. Because if they block, they're pretty much out of the game anyway. Like if they choose to give up their board here, you know. Yeah, we can swing in with Lazlo as well. I think this is fine. We make a treasure so we can buff one of our Hired Claws if we need to. I guess we'll go for it. You know, maybe I should have just swung with 1 Hired Claw, and I got a little greedy perhaps. Because perhaps there's a world where they like, it seems pretty unlikely, but where they like kill this and then manage to find a pretty big swing. Does not seem to be the case, and we should wrap this one up pretty nicely with this Great Train Heist. Check it out. So we go full control. I guess we don't really have to full control. Let's get all these triggers going. Ping you right in the face. Ping you right in the face. Make a couple treasures. Cast our... I guess we don't have to do this. We can let them block first. Let them make their blocks. Untap our team. Give them first strike. GG. Once again, like, Faded Firepower would have just been lethal in this position as well. Oh, the Menace was enough also. Okay, cool. Turns out having Menace on your Hired Claw is really sweet. 2-1. 2-1 overall. Menace red. Lazlo, kind of like the surprising... Kind of a good card. Kind of a good card. Plays really nicely in the strategy. I think the Barterer is playing really nicely as well, actually. We have the mana to, like... Not only does it give us a Menace 3/3, not bad for 3, right? Not great, not bad. But the fact that it, like, you top out with it plus a Burst Lightning and then you just draw 2, it's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts. Slow hand. No, I'm gonna mulligan this. Just doesn't do enough. Also not great, but if we, it's like, it's got everything that we could want. So if we draw a second mountain, we're like kind of in the biz. Then we can go Plunderer, use the treasure, play Lazlo, make 2 more treasures, and then we're set up for a huge Great Train Heist. Got to draw a mountain here. So they're not going to be interacting with us too much. That's nice. Go ahead and swing in. We can't do a whole lot with this burst lightning. You maybe, I guess you could argue that we just kill the Earth Kingdom protectors here, but guess if they play like a Great Valley Guide or Great Divide Guide, we'll kill the Earth Kingdom protectors at that point. Earth King's Lieutenant. They decided not to swing. A little weird. I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them the choice here. I'd really like this Lieutenant gone in the long run. They might just decide to protect it. Leave them with a 1-1. I don't know. It might just be better for them to... Oh, there's a great draw. Okay. We're in it now. It might have just been better for them to have the 2-2 and be able to protect like a future Great Divide Guide. I don't know. Maybe this guy gets out of hand, but... Giving treasures to our 5-color opponent. They already have a Cavern of Souls, so it's not a huge deal. Gotta get Lazlo online. We can take him off of blockers, which is pretty nice. Okay, I'm guessing they have Aang in hand. Play a land. They're probably just going to airbend this. They're reading my cards. So now I can suspect the Earth King's Lieutenant, which is pretty nice because it takes them off of double blocks with Aang. Swing in, make some treasures. Maybe they have like, I guess they could have the 2 allies, the flash for 2 allies. I don't know the names of all these cards. Resolute reinforcements, but allies. Flash in and block my Astronaut, perhaps. So there's Aang. Kind of not sure why they didn't just airbend Lazlo on the stack. Airbends the Plunderer, not a huge deal. Trigger from trigger from the Plunderer turns on speed 4, giving our Bastronaut double strike here. Let's just go ahead and replay the Plunderer post-combat. And now we're set up to threaten a pretty big Great Train Heist attack next turn with our double striking Bastronaut and all these extra treasures that we're going to be generating. Lets us feed a lot of extra damage into the Bastronaut. Swinging in. No blocks from us. Invasion reinforcements. My turn. Give them a treasure. Mountain. Go ahead and swing in. It kind of seems like they don't have anything. I don't know that they're dead here, but they're going to be taking quite a lot of damage. Do I need to do this before blocks? No. Let them decide their blocks here. I think I can probably play the Great Train Heist for the full 6. Actually, maybe I play it for 7? Because then I'm going to get double triggers. Let's see, I'm going to get triggers off of... Quick math. If I play it for 7, I'm going to make 2 treasures plus another 2 for this next turn, next attack. I think it's kind of a wash. I think I get to do it for 7, but I don't know that it makes a huge difference. Untap all of my creatures, give them first strike. Kill off these allies. Hit them for a lot. Make 2 treasures. Tapped. Okay. They're tapped. That's good to know. Lazlo. Hit them with the Generous Plunderer trigger again. They never sacked their treasure. Doesn't super matter here. Buff our Bastronaut. Super dead. Okay, sweet. Kind of a strong card. The first strike makes a huge difference because it like nearly guarantees that our creatures survive through the attack, and then guarantees that we once again get to attack with them. Plus, no one knows that that card exists, so you get a lot of points for that reason as well. Bring in the Abrades, bring the Fire Magic. Fire Magic like can be kind of good against them. Yeah, why not? Let's take out the Hired Claws. I don't think they're that likely to be able to swing in. And then a couple Charming Scoundrels can go. Zhao seems like he could be very good in this matchup, especially if we manage to ultimate. But I think the way this matchup tends to go is like you need to kill their Great Divide Guide early. Otherwise, they just kind of spiral out of control. We'll keep this hand. Get rid of the Great Train Heist here. Pretty interactive. Hopefully the Byway Barterer will help us go the distance. Go the distance. There we go. 2-1 overall. Pretty good running so far. Great Divide Guide. Fortunately, we have a Lightning Strike for this. Let's go for it now. Play around Aang. I think I'm just going to let them Aang this Barterer here. Because we can still trigger it next turn. Or we can Fire Magic for 3 and... Sorry, Fire Magic for 2 damage and then shock something. We've got options. I think it's okay for them to get the Aang out of their hand here. Hakoda Selfless Commander. Play allies from the top of your library and to protect your team. Okay, makes our Fire Magics look pretty poor here. But we at least get to play the Barterer. I think I'm just going to go for it. Abrade Aang and then discard my hand, draw 2. My hand's not doing too much. The Fire Magic's not really worth anything here. Let's see some new action. Could just lose to the Hakoda if they run hot. Vigilance? Gonna be tough to beat this guy. Deploy a couple creatures. It might be Rotisserie Elemental's time to shine. They're reading my cards. Come on, let's not act like Allies has crazy decision trees. You just play your allies, dude. It's not that serious. Wartime Protesters, nice. Yeah, that's a good card. Yeah, taking damage. I don't think I'm allowed to block. I don't think I win the long game by blocking here. Just gotta hope we draw... I don't know what would be good. Another Barterer into some action, maybe? Make a treasure. Yeah, that probably won't do it. I guess we could maybe make them give up the Hakoda here. Let's go ahead, do a tentative attack in case we need to hold back blockers. Just swing in for 2 here. Looks like they might not have. It looks like they might have another allies at last. I'm gonna go ahead and try to burst lightning the wartime protesters here. It doesn't really change the math here for them, but it could mean them giving up Hakoda. That's the way I see it playing out. They'll give up Hakoda. Oh no. Okay. They must have something good on top then. The only reason I held back the elemental was because I thought they were going to give up Hakoda and swing in with, I don't know, another wartime protesters or whatever. There's the invasion reinforcements. There's Aang. Yeah, can't come back from this one. Okay, let's take out the fire magics. I don't think they're going to be doing enough here. Let's bring in the hired claws on the play. Let's go down. Go down and a braid. Let's go down 2 abraids. Let's just try to have a good creature start here. Outpace them that way. I like this. I like that it has the Fire Nation Palace plus Faded Firepower combo. I think turn 1 Bastronaut is probably the most important thing we could be doing in this matchup. We also have an Omnikant Raceway, which is pretty likely to come online with our turn 1 Bastronaut here. We have removal for their early creatures. Pretty ideal. If they have like some kind of answer for this early Bastronaut, could be a problem, but pretty unlikely. Just go ahead and hit them and pass. The allies like fight spell costs 4, right? And it's got affinity for allies, so they can't play a divide guide and then fight my. If they attack here, go ahead and abrade the divide guide. Hired claw. Play a raceway. Hit them for 1. Get our speed going. Play a hired claw. I think we just pass again. Hold up lightning strike. And then next turn we can go all in on the faded firepower for a little bit of extra damage. It'd be nice to draw 1 more land. South Pole Voyager. Do they have another ally to trigger this? It looks like no. Let's just go ahead and lightning strike the South Pole Voyager. Just kill everything on sight, basically. There's another faded firepower. Well, I'm going to go for the first one because I think it's pretty good here. Activate the palace on the Bastronaut. Full control so we can cast our faded firepower for X equals 1. So this will add up pretty quickly just by itself. Ping for 2, and now if they block, they can't block the hired claw anymore. Maybe they haven't read the card. Okay, they have. Get in for an extra 6 there. Sorry, extra 3 off the faded firepower. I guess that was worth 4 damage right there, right? 4 mana for 4 damage on that turn exactly. Plus it stuck around. It sticks around, so it's just going to continue to add up. Yeah, I think this is the build. I think this is exactly what I want to be doing. Lazlo goes kind of crazy here. Give Menace to our hired claw. Swing in. Hold up control. Ping, and then we can lightning strike the Earth and ally here, I think, is kind of good. That makes sense to me. I guess we could just lightning strike their face, but this takes them off blockers. I don't think they have anything. Double strike on the Bastronaut. Put them to 3. That ought to do it, especially with the second Faded Firepower in hand. Them being on basically no interaction is a huge death sentence for them in this matchup, especially if we're on the play. It's very easy for us to deploy our strategy, and if it gets, if they don't have any removal, then they just die, and it's like, even if they have blockers, it doesn't matter. Healthy 3-1, I think, right? Am I doing my math wrong? That was the 4th match, I think. 3-1, right? Because we played against... What did we play against? Mono green. Is it? Goblins, and now allies? Didn't we lost to Is It round 2, is that right? I think I'm misremembering. I'm pretty sure that was match 4 though. Heading into match 5. What did I lose to? Oh, Delirium, not Is It. Okay, so we beat Mono Green, we beat Goblins, we beat Allies, and lost to Delirium. Pretty handily. Got pretty whooped on by Delirium. So 3-1, heading into match 5, officially. Ranking up. Deck's feeling good. Alright, officially match 5. On the draw. Not a horrible hand. Gonna keep it. Lands and spells. Missing a 1-drop. Definitely needs another land to survive here. Stomping Ground. Oh no. Not Delirium again. Oh no. Leyline Weaver. Okay. We can deal with a Leyline Weaver. Just gotta kill this on sight, I think. It's too out of hand. Too quickly. Surek. Play the Rotisserie Elemental here and hold up a Lightning Strike for Ouroboros. Are we winning that game even? We're definitely losing the game if they resolve an Ouroboros in a stick. So let's just pass. Yeah. Yeah, it's the Ouroboros. They get to draw a card. They're going to hit me for 4. All right, Rotisserie Elemental, go. We'll play Lazlo. We'll suspect Lazlo. Going for 2-1. Make a treasure. We will not take the action. Play Zhao. Threatening to make quite a lot of mana next turn. I don't know if anyone else misread this card when it first spoiled, but makes a treasure for each creature you control that's attacking with Menace that turn. There's the second Ouroboros. They always have it. There's a Faded Firepower, though. They really might not see this coming. Could be bad if they choose to block. This is what? 4 extra damage plus... That's 12. It's almost lethal. That's crazy. I don't think I can do it, though. Decline here. That'll play a second Barterer. Sorry, first Barterer. Let's play second Lazlo. Right? Block here. Block here. Live another turn. You know, if we play second Lazlo, though... Okay, Ouroboros goes up to 4. 4 power Llanowar Elves. Sorry, 2 counters on everything. 4 power Ouroboros, 4 power Llanowar Elves, 7 power Surrak with Trample. So I do need another blocker here. Ooh, do I want to discard my hand to draw 2? No. Yes? Maybe. What could I draw? I guess I could draw like a burst lightning here. Boy, I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of losing the plot. Let's go ahead and suspect Rotisserie Elemental. Not blocking with that bad boy anytime soon. Giving up that Faded Firepower felt a little bad, but I actually think we were just dead if we like didn't play Lazlo, and if we don't play Lazlo, we're dead, right? Because we need the extra blocker, and if we're probably just dead anyway, I guess. So then we have to like give up our treasures, so our Faded Firepower becomes a lot worse anyway. Like it doesn't become a lethal play. Little 1. Probably still just dead. I don't think there's anything I can draw here. Yep, it's the double Boyd. Get Boyded, I guess. They always have the second one. Is this anyone else's experience that they just always have the second one? I'm gonna bring in the Case of the Crimson Pulse here. Bring in the Fire Magics. Because we're going to be using our removal to like, or our burn to remove their creatures pretty frequently, I think having the option of like playing the Case and being able to draw back up makes sense to me. Cut the Zhaos. Cut a couple Hired Claws. Cut the Rotisserie Elemental. Cut the Charming Scoundrels. We can probably afford to cut a Lazlo, even though maybe it's the best card in our deck and we always want to see it. I don't know. It is a legendary creature, so that's a knock against it. And also, like, we'll keep this. And also, they're probably not that likely to remove it. I guess we saw a Braid in their main deck, but start playing our non-basics. I guess we don't have a Zhao anymore, so it doesn't really matter. Play the Plunderer. There's a Cub. I think I'm going to give them the treasure because I want to start getting in for extra damage here. And a Faded Firepower. Okay. I think what I do, I'm just going to rip this Faded Firepower for as much as I can right now, which is X equals 2. Full control. I don't know why it's trying to not let me do this. Firebending. With this ability on the stack, play this X equals 2. And that sets up for like a pretty big Fire Magic next turn. So even if they play Ouroboros, I can Fire Magic for 4 damage to everything. Which should put me in a decent position long term. Another reason to play this over Odor Oxynil, I think. I think Odor Oxynil specifically says like non-combat damage to an opponent. So it doesn't buff your Fire Magics in the same way. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it says. Let me know if I'm dumb in the comments. Okay, this is looking good. We have a good setup here. We can swing in with the Plunderer. Get some extra damage here. Let's play the Raceway so we can get our speed up. Swing in with the Plunderer. Trigger. Deal 3 right off the bat. See if they block. They choose to block. Doesn't super matter how we do this here. Kill off the cub, I guess. I guess we do 1 and 1, kill them both. That's kind of sweet. That's actually really sweet. And now we can just burst lightning the Ouroboros. That's crazy that it works like that now. That wouldn't have worked like that before, right? Because you needed to assign lethal damage in the past to be able to like move on to the next. But now you can just assign willy-nilly. Kind of crazy. So we can just burst lightning the... Unless we burst lightning their face. I'm going to play around second Boyd here. Burst lightning this first one. Also playing around like them buffing it. Burst lightning this first one. Let's just hold off on the Bastronaut, I think. They have quite a lot of cards left in their hand to deploy. We're getting close to Fire Magic for 5 damage to everything. They're not really threatening us. See if they play out their hand here. I think you could make an argument for some amount of Iroh's demonstration in the sideboard for this kind of matchup too. Where it's like this one-sided Fire Magic, which is really, really nice. Especially being in a creature strategy. They're in the tank. Plays a mountain. Let's see the second Ouroboros. There's a Paw Patch Recruit. Not a huge deal for us. Pass. I think I'm probably just going to pass again. Play a mountain and pass. There's a Hired Claw. Let's see if we can get a little more out of them here. There's a cub. Yeah, I'm just going to go for it now. I'm going to do 2 damage. Not sure that it super matters. Wipe their board. We can deploy... let's just start with a Hired Claw. Because they could have Fire Magics of their own, to be honest. I don't think we want to rush into this. They could have like an Abrade here. See if we can get our speed up. There's a Fire Magic. Good thing we played around it. I'm wising up. We can just go on a Burnout Bastronaut here. Leyline Weaver. Would love to get to speed 4. There's an Ouroboros. So they won't be able to block my Bastronaut, though. There's a Great Train Heist. Is that just lethal? Probably not, right? Do the math real quick. So if I... Fire Nation Palace, I'm at 1, 2, 3, 7 mana. I can Great Train Heist to untap all creatures I control and give the Bastronaut first strike, which means it'll kill... It'll have 2 power, which means it'll kill the Leyline Weaver or the Ouroboros outright. At the very least, it forces them to double block, which is kind of interesting. And then if they don't block, then I get to attack again. That's not a whole lot. I guess we just play the Lazlo here. Maybe we take the Ouroboros' ability away to block. Ouroboros' ability to block away. Swing with our Bastronaut here. Make a treasure. Hit them. Now we just lose to a fire magic, I think. Because I don't think they can draw. They probably can't draw another blocker and have it be enough. Yeah, I don't think this is enough through the Great Train Heist here. They swing with the Boyd. My turn. There's a fire magic. That's interesting. Not much we can do about that. Go ahead and buff the Bastronaut here. Hold control. Attack. Firebending 4. Resolve. Make a treasure. I guess we don't need to hold control for this one. Let's let them decide their blockers here. They decide not to block the Bastronaut. Okay, well, they're dead to this then. Because we'll first strike down the Surak and then get to swing in, and they can't block the Bastronaut here. Also, double strike turns on because of first strike. That's interesting. Wow, there's so many little like details here. So the double strike turned on because I got speed 4 from hitting with first strike. So then I got my second hit because it turned into the main combat damage phase. If you played this deck in paper, be honest with me, would you have realized that you got 2 attacks there? Because I don't think I would have in paper, unless I had seen that interaction happen on Arena beforehand. You know what I mean? Run it back. Very interesting stuff. We're going into the final game here. Really, really interesting deck. A lot of small little details that I think would be easy to miss in paper. Specifically that. This is a fine hand. It's a little slow. I like that we have the Lightning Strike for an Ouroboros, but we really could use like a Generous Plunderer. Another Abrade helps. Help us fight through the second Ouroboros. Let's just Abrade this guy. They're on a Molda 6. Might make a big difference in their hand here. Yep, sweet. Play our Barterer. They might just Abrade this, but we have another one. Stuck on 2 lands. 3 lands. They're in Ouroboros territory. We can't be too scared of it. There's not a whole lot we can do anyway. Let's just go ahead and play our Barterer. Hope they miss the 4th land drop. Well, there's the 4th land drop. Do they have the Ouroboros? No. Huge. A rare occasion. We can play... What do we do here? We just Abrade Surak and swing in. Yeah, I think we just Abrade Surak and swing in. See if they have anything. Hope we can continue to dodge Ouroboros. I'd really like to get Lazlo online, but did not make sense to do it there with the Tyvar being able to gain Indestructible. I guess they would have to double block anyway, so I could just kill the Surak, and it would have all worked out. But I actually think I like giving Tyvar, suspecting Tyvar here, perhaps. No, we'll just suspect Lazlo. I think I need the treasures. They might have another Abrade. Yeah, I need the treasures in the future turns anyway. With the way this hand is shaping out. Continue to dodge the Ouroboros, please. Yes. Are they killing Lazlo? My boy? My only son? Fire magic for 2. Interesting. So if I fire magic for 1 here, I kill their Tyvar. That's probably worth it. I don't know if I'm getting a much better deal than that. And I get to play Generous Plunderer. There's a Boyd. Pretty tough to deal with that. Give him a treasure here. Double lightning strike the Boyd. Yep. That's the kind of game we gotta play, I suppose. Hit them for 3. The Legend of Roku, pretty good. No Boyd. There's an Abrade. Kill my Plunderer here. I like the case of the Crimson Pulse in this scenario, in this position. Probably just get rid of the Faded Firepower. There's a land. Play the land. Play the case. Get rid of the Faded Firepower. Try to dump our hand pretty quickly here. See if we can restabilize with the case. Try to continue to dodge Ouroboros. Badgermole Cub. It's kind of anyone's game in this position, unless they hit Ouroboros, and then it is 100% their game. But right now, things are pretty open. There's an Abrade, so we can empty our hand, which is good. Play the Plunderer. Swing in, see what they do as far as blocks go. I'm just going to Abrade the Cub here, actually, and then offer the trade, I think. They could have like an Overprotect. And if they want a double block, I think that's pretty good for me. Well, I guess it's actually just like a single block, which is not that good for me because I can't pump. So we'll just hold. Do they have a way to... They have a Heritage Reclamation for what? I guess for my Faded Firepower? Wow. Yeah, that might do it. That might do it. Did they see Faded Firepower? Yeah, I guess they did in the earlier games. Another Legend of Roku. Kind of feeling like this one's put away. Now this is a card. If I had this card, if I had these on Arena, I'd probably play these over case of the Crimson Pulse, to be honest with you. So there's one extra. You could consider the case as sort of a budget Legend of Roku, but if you own the Rokus, I'd probably just go with the Rokus. They play out really nicely. Kind of feeling a little toast here. I think we just swing in. Is that crazy? The result is not going to be great for us, other than maybe getting our speed up here. We at least get a little damage in, guaranteed. We're not going to have too many more opportunities for that. 2 lands off of their Legend of Roku is pretty nice, but they're going to start making dragons here. So I think we need to play for, like, I don't know, just this reach sort of burn finish that we can kind of set up. Menace. They can give the Pummeler indestructible anyway, so not a whole lot of reason to dump this mana in. But we can't do anything with this mana anyway. So I suppose we make him do it. Yeah. Kill their elf. Hit him for 2. Play a Hired Claw. Now, let's do the math real quick. If we draw Faded Firepower, we can Fire Nation Palace, 4 mana, +2, 6 plus the treasure is 7 for X equals 4, which is lethal with these 2 burn triggers. So let's not level up the Hired Claw, because if we draw Faded Firepower, we're going to want to be able to cast it for as much mana as we can for lethal. And if we waste that treasure, it won't be lethal. So let's play to our outs here. Kind of crazy that we're still in this. If we draw Faded Firepower, it's just lethal. Oh, Tyvar. Oh, maybe we're not in it at all. Maybe we're not in it at all. Holy smokes. Yeah, that's a sick combination. Good game. Okay. 3-2 overall. Pretty good run with the deck, I thought. Pretty good run. Got to show off some of the explosiveness. Got to show off just how many treasures you can make with Lazlo. I think if you read that card, you don't realize, like, if you just build around it, you actually can make a crazy amount of treasures. I liked our payoffs for it. I thought Great Train Heist played very well. All but maybe one time that we drew it. There was one time when it got stuck in our hand. And it all worked nicely. Maybe one less Rotisserie Elemental. Maybe that card's a bit of a meme. Maybe you could play a third Zhao just to have more consistency in like a turn 2 Menace creature. I liked the mana situation. You could maybe even go up to 4 Fire Nation Palace, just because hands with the Fire Nation Palace become have a lot more a higher potential to be explosive, right? Give you the option of playing a turn 3 Faded Firepower for X=1 if you want it. Once again, Legend of Roku, definitely a card that if you had them, you would play them in this kind of deck, at least in the sideboard. 3-2. Yeah, I thought it went pretty well. Pretty happy with this list. I have another idea for Faded Firepower in the works. Stebo Bebo, shout out to you, brother or sister or non-binary pal. I don't know you. And so look out for that. I'm not done with this card. I think it's got potential. Next time it'll be in a more ramping shell, but I think if you wanted to play just mono red and have that feel of like a really aggressive payoff for it, I think this is a pretty nice shell. I think it all works out really nicely. Big mana and a big payoff for that big mana. So thanks for watching. And hopefully my computer holds strong and I'll be able to continue putting out daily standard content. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.